Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the All Sports All Plays Real Talk. This is Nate the Great. Uh, we have Big Shaw, Freddie Henderson, and Chris Brown. So today's episode, I need to. Show is being brought to you by Suzanne Paparazzi's Jewelry. All products are lead and nickel free. All products are a $5 special offer for ASAP Sports viewers. Free matching earrings when you buy a necklace. Order now at paparazziesaccessories.com. And the promo code is 160920. Well, what's up, everyone? How are you guys doing?
What's up?
Pretty good, man. Everything's good.
I thought everything was good, and but it's not, man. It's rough over here. Team's 0-2 right now, Nate. Disappointed. My heart is broken. Having a hard time, man. Cannot lie to y'all. Having a hard time.
Yeah. I want to add to that. I'm actually pretty happy that the Cowboys won yesterday. Yesterday, Cowboy fans was calling me, texting me, tagging me in the post. And all I could ask was two things. Why did I not hear from you last week? Well, keep the same energy. I will get the last laugh at the end of the year. You can book.
And to add on that was a fluke victory.
Thank you.
That's all I gotta say. They got lucky to win. They got lucky. But let's start with the show, man. Let's not let this be a Cowboy show. That's the last.
Now they really win that game.
Yeah, that's the last thing this show ever be a Cowboy show.
No, they did not win.
So, start off. Let's talk about the game that's going on right now. The Raiders and the Saints. Right now, the Saints are in the lead, 10-0, like shown on the board. Do you think the Raiders have a chance coming back? And I'm gonna start with Big Shaw.
Man, as much as I hate to say it, the Saints gonna roll, man. The Saints gonna roll. But my matchup was the Saints receivers going against that young secondary. They got a very, very, very young secondary. The Los Angeles Raiders now. But Drew Brees, he's gonna torch them. Alvin Kamara, he's doing something now. He's doing good. I really thought it'd be bad when Michael Thomas, but actually they're playing pretty good.
Freddie.
Listen. The Saints are playing without Michael Thomas, their number one receiver. Yeah. And, they're playing against the Rams team like Big Shaw said, they are a young secondary. So, but you still have Drew Brees throwing the football. And then you do have Alvin Kamara that got paid, before the season started. So he had to prove that he's worth the contract. And then you have a coach by the name of Sean Payton that's going to switch it up, change it up. He's going to be different. You're not going to know if he's going to be passing or running it, or if he's going to put the backup quarterback in there to do a trick play. I mean, you still have weapons. You still have Emmanuel Sanders. Like I said, you have Taysom Hill. You have Deontay Harris. I mean, you still have that defense that has surprised a lot of folks this year. So I don't think the Raiders have a chance in this game. I'm predicting it'll be 32 to maybe like 14.
Yeah, the Raiders are going to score a point, maybe 2 points.
As we saw from the Atlanta Falcons game, it was 20-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then we saw an upset, and it went to 40-39. Mm-hmm. After watching that, I still have my pick with the Raiders winning 29-28 over the Saints.
You might be on your own there, Nate. I mean, when I look at this New Orleans Saints team, man, without Michael Thomas, they're going to win because of their defense. I'm gonna tell you one thing: they're not going to win because of Drew Brees. Drew Brees isn't the same passer he was 5-6 years ago. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's like 3 for 9 for 50-something yards. This team is going to win without Michael Thomas because of their defense, because of their running game, and maybe some quick pass game. I mean, without Michael Thomas, there's nothing. These receivers aren't number ones, okay? So they're really going to have to scheme and try to get them open. You're going against a Raiders team that is very young. I think they have some talent, but not talented enough to beat this New Orleans Saints, who's the Super Bowl contender. They're not that talented, man. I have the Saints winning. You know, if I had to say a score, I'd probably say like 28-10. You know, I don't think this Saints team is going to put big points on the board unless their defense help creates it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the our next is NBA matchup. We have the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. I still have my pick, even though they're down 2-1 in the series right now. And by the way, you don't have that updated. The Nuggets are in the Western Conference Finals, semifinals, excuse me. And can you see the Celtics winning this game? I'm going to go with Chris in the series.
The series, no. I'm still sticking with my pick, Miami. But do I see them winning Game 4? I think it's possible, you know, but all those guys have to be consistent on both ends of the court. They got out to an early lead, which helped them a lot. Jason Tatum has to be consistent, but he also has to learn how to be a playmaker. Because in the playoffs, when you're a dominant guy, you're going to have to know how to pass because your shot's not going to be there all the time. Jaylen Brown's been an inconsistent guy throughout this whole entire playoffs, not just this series, but literally entire playoffs. So he has to perform big. And then Kemba. They got you to replace the Kyrie production, you know, a better leader, better teammate. That's cool and all, but what can you do on the court? We know what Kyrie can do on the court, but Kemba, you haven't shown up a lot this playoffs. And now, why I have them winning, you know, why they won the last game is all because of Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's a guy that's not only a playmaker, but he can get his own shot, and he's a big body. He's 6'8". He could play defense. He could do it on both ends of the court. Gordon Hayward is the reason why they won Game 3. And I feel like he's going to be a big reason why they won Game 4, but I'm still sticking with my original pick, Miami in 6 or 7. But I do think Boston will win the next game.
Freddie?
You know, just piggyback off what Chris said. I mean, it sounds like, you know, I've been like a record player through this whole playoffs. I've been saying that Miami have a bunch of dogs. They have a lot of bodies that they can throw at you, and I believe they can throw those bodies at a Jason Tatum. And he's going, like Chris said, he's going to learn how to pass those balls when those bodies are thrown at him. I mean, just think how beautiful it is. You can have an Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, a Jimmy Butler just to throw at one dude, Jason Tatum. But I mean, like I said, they're a bunch of dogs. They come in with their dog mentality. I think they're on the mission, and I do not think this Boston team have enough to stop this Miami team from that mission. You look at Bam, this dude is balling out of this world. You look at Jimmy Butler, if he's not doing it on the offensive end, he's doing it on the defensive end. You look at their shooters; they are knocking down shots. They are a well coached team. They're not going to make mistakes. They're going to play their brand of basketball, and they will win it in 6 or 7.
Big shot.
Yes, I don't know where Kemba Walker's being. So, Gordon Hayward, I'm glad he came back, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I had to go back and watch Miami play a few times, and I had to realize and I understand them boys got some players in Miami, and if they do beat Boston, which I think it'll go to a Game 7, they're going to give the Lakers a fit. Especially with Andre Iguodala. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Heat, man.
The next matchup is the Lakers versus the Nuggets. I'm gonna give Big Shaw.
Wait, Nate. I want you to go first.
Okay.
I want you to go first.
Okay. I was gonna say best for last, but I have the Lakers losing this one in 7. Ooh. And we saw what happened. They win 6 games. 6 games when the pressure was on them. Mm-hmm. If they had lost one of those 6 games, they would have been out. And it was down 3-1 against Utah, and it was down 3-1 against Clippers. Yeah, I get Freddie. He says that the Lakers are not the Clippers.
They're not.
They're not.
But the Clippers are not the Jazz. and yet both things happen.
Oh, yeah, the Jazz.
Both teams aren't better than the nowhere near as close as good as the Lakers. I'm gonna save my points for my points. I just want to put that out there. None of those teams are the Lakers. None of those teams are good as the Lakers. They're not touching them, to be honest, in my opinion.
The Jazz are not as good as the Clippers.
And the Clippers not as good as the Lakers.
No. It ain't gonna happen. I got my broom ready to come out with the Lakers. They
The broom will be broken.
I got that broom ready to go.
Man, I will say this.
Will be broken.
I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but I will say this: the Lakers got lucky to win Game 2. I mean, when you have 23 turnovers, that's a problem.
Yeah, you can.
But when you win because of a game-winning shot, that's fine that Danny hit that shot. Anthony Davis is a baller, one of the most, if not, you can argue he's one of the most unguardable players in this league. He's a baller. He got a good shot at the end, left wide open. But man, if he missed that shot, this series is 1-1. It's going to be a lot of questions being thrown at LA. But I will say this, man, LA has this series. It's a wrap. Nikola Jokic went off. He's a superstar, so he had them last 11 points for the Nuggets. That's what superstars do. But you look at everything else, man. He's boxed. Like Dwight Howard coming off the bench is going to harass him. Anthony Davis in the starting lineup going to harass him. JaVale McGee going to harass him. He's going to get harassed. Jamal Murray, he might, he can get his 25, but what are the others going to do? That's a big question when I look at this Denver Nuggets team. Michael Porter Jr. off the bench to me is the guy that has to give you 18 to 20 points because they need that from him. Can he be consistent? We don't know. Can Paul Millsap, at the age he's at outside of his prime, can he be consistent? We don't know. And do anybody here really expect Jeremy Grant to hold LeBron? Because you see in the first half, the first quarter, what LeBron did in Game 3. We all know what LeBron's going to do. He's going to come out, put their foot on the neck, and completely dominate. So I don't think it's going to be a sweep. But I will say this. Now, hold on. I will say this: the Lakers win Game 3. It's over.
Yeah,
the series is over. I have the Lakers in 6, but I will say that if they win in 3, the Nuggets can kiss it goodbye. No team has ever came back from a 3-0 lead. 3-1 is different. 3-0, you have to win 4 straight. I doubt it. Against a team like this, I doubt it. The Nuggets play very, very good, but they're not good enough to beat this Lakers team. This Lakers team is too deep. They have 2 of the best stars. Anthony Davis did his thing. LeBron is still sitting there chilling. He's going to go off in the first quarter, first half. Let Anthony Davis do his thing in the second half. But once LeBron takes over in the second half, it's wraps. Like, this team has no answers for LeBron, no answers for Anthony Davis. And, the bench players, Danny Green, I've been saying this for the whole entire playoffs. He's been inconsistent, 3 for 10 from the three-point line. From your quote-unquote, he's supposed to be the best three-point shooter on this team. That's a problem. But that's the only problem I see from this team. That and the fact they had 23 turnovers. Everything else, this team is going to destroy the Nuggets, man. They have no chance. And I know Freddie agrees, so I wonder how he's going to respond to what I said.
Before Freddie goes, and Chris, there was one team who has came back from a 3-0 lead, and that was the Houston Rockets against the Phoenix Suns. If Houston can do it, a team that chokes in the playoffs a lot lately.
That Houston just to speak on that, this is a Houston team that had Akeem Olajuwon. So Houston, this is a whole different league right now. A whole different league and 2 different teams. It's not the Houston and Houston again. No, this is Houston and Denver. These 2 different franchises, 2 different eras, and 2 different monsters they're going against. Yeah, that Phoenix Suns team was good, but they're nothing compared. I'm gonna be honest, they're nothing compared to this Lakers team. That Phoenix Suns didn't have the stars that this Lakers team had. They had Charles Barkley and who else? Kevin Johnson. That excited. Dan Marley, was he really all that? No. You didn't have a LeBron who's the best player in the world. You didn't have an Anthony Davis who's the top 5 player in the world. You didn't have all the pieces around him. So that's all I'm going to say on that. They don't have it.
No.
Freddie, I want you to go, and then I'm going to answer his reply to Jason's comment on that.
All right, you want me to go? All right.
I want you to go, and then I'm going to reply to Jason's comment.
Wait, before he goes, I will say this. Do you agree with what I said? Do you agree with my take, Freddie?
Yeah, I agree 100%, my brother. I'm just going to take it home.
Right,
if the Lakers win in Game 3, ladies and gentlemen, get the brooms out.
It will be broken.
It will be.
It will be snapped in half.
No, sir. You know why?
I got that broom ready, man.
Because we're not the Clippers.
The Clippers are not the Jazz.
But Freddie, can I answer this, please? Can I answer this, please, for you? Can I answer it? Freddie, let me answer this. Okay, you say the Clippers aren't the Jazz and the Jazz, all that stuff. But listen, this Lakers team is a better defensive team than both those teams combined, okay? They have the big man defenders and the wing perimeter defenders. Then they're a better scoring team. They have better stars. The Clippers and the Lakers combined, the Clippers and the Jazz combined, still couldn't beat this Lakers team, man. He says they're not the Clippers. The Clippers are better than the Jazz. They blew a lead for different reasons. The Lakers is not going to blow a lead when you have 2 stars, when you have the best player in the league, when you have better coaching, better defense, better offense. I'm sorry. There's no way they're going to blow a 3-0 lead. They're not going to blow a 2-0 lead. That's all I had to say, man. This Lakers team is hands down better than those both teams. So that statement, I can't take it serious.
Chris, numbers don't lie, right?
Numbers don't lie.
Let's go back to history of this year. On 10/25 in 2019, the Utah came to LA to play the Lakers. It was 95-86. Mm-hmm. The Lakers won. On December 4th, 2019, we went to Utah. The Lakers won 121-96. Mm-hmm. Okay. 8-3. Oh, that was recently. Mm-hmm. We beat them 116-108. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that should just tell you that we are
better than the Jazz.
Did you hear the commercial when LeBron say that we built different? We're not. I mean, let me tell you that we're not the Clippers. You know one thing the Clippers lack that the Lakers have? We have traditional big men. We have 3 traditional big men. We have people that can clog the paint up, that can make the Joker work. I mean, yes, he scored 11 points straight the other night, but he had to work for it. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. Then they talk about we don't shoot threes. I mean, we shoot threes. We shot the 3 better in the playoffs than the Clippers. So you can't judge on what this Nuggets team did to the Clippers because we're not the Clippers. We have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We have the best duo in the NBA. I mean, last night
they had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
Everybody knows that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are nothing compared to AD and LeBron. AD and LeBron are better on the offensive end, and together, in my opinion, they're better on the defensive end because AD can guard 1 through 5, and LeBron can still lock up guys in the playoffs. Man, Paul George and Kawhi are right here. LeBron and AD are right here, man. It's not even close what levels there. LeBron and AD would never blow a 3-1 lead like them two have. LeBron and AD would never go 6 for 22, and whatever Paul George bum behind shot in the playoffs. It's 2 different levels, Nate. They don't compare at all.
We can't put them we can't put them on the same pedestal.
They're not on the same pedestal.
At the end of the day, it's time to say Kawhi Leonard is not better than LeBron.
Never been better than LeBron.
Who said that?
I mean, this dude had 14 points in a closeout game. Mm-hmm. 14 points. Harden don't even choke that bad.
Go ahead. I'll say what you got. I got to say something.
Then Anthony Davis is a better number 2 option than Paul George, sir.
Yes.
Way
better. He can do everything.
Anthony Davis is actually could be a best player on a team. Arguably, you can argue that he's the best player on the team now.
Exactly. I mean, that's how great he is.
Yeah, you can say that.
But
LeBron's really that general in that team. AD's that soldier.
But let's look how last night the Nuggets had the perfect opportunity to win this game. It seemed like the Lakers stars took turns each half. The first half, it was LeBron. He scored 20 points while AD gave you 9. The second half, it was AD time while he gave you like 20-something points the second half, and LeBron only gave you 6. Mm-hmm. Yes, 6 points. The Nuggets had an opportunity to take the game, but guess what? For the talents, the greatness of Anthony Davis, hit the big-time shot. Now, by the way, he yelled out Kobe when he shot it. I mean, man, rest in peace, dude. I miss that dude, man, for real. But this Nuggets team, if they don't win in Game 3, if they not win in Game 3, ladies and gentlemen, get the broom out. It will be over. Guaranteed you can book it.
Yeah, you better get that broom. It's over with, man.
All right, I will book it. I will remember what you said. I'm going to do that later because Jason McMahon said that the Nuggets are done. They got a ship. They got the ship. They said that last series. He said I remember he was the one who said that the Nuggets are irrelevant. And look what happened.
I'm the only one. First of all, I think I'm one of the only ones in America that had the Nuggets in 7 before they even played each other in the series. I knew what it was hitting for. But let's be honest.
That's not true.
Who else had them?
I swapped picks.
You swapped. You saw. I was 10 toes down. I was 10 toes down. I said the Nuggets in 7 before the series started. You didn't say that at first. You were saying the Clippers in 5, the Clippers in 6. Nate, it's on video.
No. but it's also on audio on my personal channel.
Okay, but it's on video that you were saying the Clippers. But I will say this, man, like the Nuggets have no shot. If they don't, even if they win tomorrow, you're not beating this Lakers team 4 times with the talent that they have. They literally match up well. Everything the Nuggets did in round 1, the Lakers can stop it. Everything the Nuggets did in round 2, the Lakers can stop it. They have the answer for Jokic. They have answers for Murray. If Danny Green shot better from the 3-point line, this game would have been totally different. He went 3 for 10.
Chris, honestly,
Open shots.
I think that shot the other night is going to give the Lakers more momentum. I don't expect them to turn the ball over 23, 24 times.
They can't do that.
Games.
They're not going to do that again, man. They're not. And
they might have the momentum this next game.
They have the momentum. The Nuggets missed their chance. That was literally their best opportunity in this series was to win this and be tied up 1-1. 1-1 is tremendously better than 2-0. The Nuggets missed their opportunity because now going into game 3, LeBron said, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to get this over with." Yeah, AD is already coming to his own, so now he's going to be on a whole another level. Man, the Nuggets missed their opportunity. I still have the Lakers in 6. I think the Nuggets are going to find a way to win a couple of games, but win the whole series, man, I'm sorry. There's no way in the world. And I will eat listen, I have no problem in eating the humble pie if they win the series because I have them winning a couple of games because I do think they're very talented. But if they end up winning the series, I will come on the show, eat the humble pie, no problem. But let's be honest, everybody knows the Lakers in 6.
So then I got a question for you. If the Lakers beat the Nuggets, who are you going for then?
Who am I rooting for? Who am I thinking is going to win it?
No, if the Lakers win this round,
this game,
go to the finals, out of Miami, Boston, or the Lakers, who are you going for then?
Lakers over Boston.
Okay.
All right, I'm just trying to see if you was a Laker.
Yeah. The Boston Celtics can't touch the Lakers, but I will
kill them.
I will say this: the Lakers are hoping right now that the Celtics beat the Heat because the Lakers have to go against the Heat. It's going to be a dog fight. It's going 7.
It's going to be a fight.
It's going to be a dog fight right there.
It's going straight to 7 games.
Yes, sir.
So moving on, we have the next topic.
Wait. We want to answer this question right here.
Oh, okay. What do you think about the LeBron over MVP votes?
Let me take it, Freddie. Listen, man.
All right. Chris,
man. LeBron James, year after year after year, gets overlooked. I'm glad he came out and said it because, I understand it's a regular season award, but don't act like LeBron didn't have a great regular season. Don't act like he didn't come out here, average 25, 8, and 10, lead the league in assists in the 17th year. They're not putting no respect on this man's name. Number 1 seed in the West. Beat Giannis and Kawhi before the thing was over, led the league in assists. I felt like if it was any other player, they probably would have won this award. I mean, bringing this team from nothing, right? They haven't made the playoffs in years. Last year, they were the 4th seed, but without him, you saw how bad they were. Then he gets them to be in the playoffs. The number 1 seed has all these great statistical categories, and yet he only gets 16 votes.
Yeah.
Come on now. Against Giannis, that we all see what Giannis can do. He does it all in the regular season. I understand it's a regular season award, but we see he does nothing in the playoffs. He does the same thing because teams allow him to go to the paint, do that fancy Euro step. They're in the East, right? This is what they said about LeBron. Oh, LeBron, you're in the East. The East is easy, but when he goes to the West and is the number 1 seed in the West, dominates the West, he doesn't get credit for it. Man, if I was LeBron James, I'd have cussed out everybody on that thing because one thing he also said is that LeBron had a chance in 2013 to win MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He also would have had a championship and a Finals MVP, right? One of the only guys to do it. Giannis has an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Cool. All know he's not going to the Finals. LeBron had a chance. LeBron had a chance to do this what Giannis just did, but they gave Defensive Player of the Year to Marc Gasol, who wasn't even first team on defense. That's like giving the like he said. That's like giving the MVP to somebody that's not even first team All NBA.
Yeah,
LeBron James has every right to be pissed off. I'm pissed off because we all know the truth, man. They keep going with the narrative. Like LeBron checks all the boxes. I feel like if it was any other player, if it was any other player that had the season he had, they would have got MVP over Giannis for sure. But the fact that it's LeBron and they're quote unquote used to this, they don't want to give him credit. He had the narrative, he had the stats, he had everything to check all the boxes. But the fact that his name is LeBron means they keep disrespecting this man year after year after year. And I'm pissed off because he should have won in 2018, just like he should have won this year. And years and years and years, he should have won the MVP, man. They keep disrespecting this man. He deserves to be pissed off, and man, I'm pissed off.
It's like saying
that's why the Lakers gonna win this series because LeBron he had the chip on his shoulder now, even bigger chip.
Bigger
You know,
chip. Game
He's
3
gonna
is
show
going
you.
on.
He's gonna show us.
Before Freddie goes, I don't agree, obviously, that the Lakers are going to win this series, but I do, however, I understand what that point about the whole LeBron saying he's not pissed over MVP votes. I do understand that because it's like saying, you're in football, you're not going to give the MVP to somebody that made the first team All Pro or the Super Bowl.
Is it my? Can I go now?
Yeah, you go.
Bring it home, Freddie. Bring it home.
Big Shaw was starting to get into this. I loved it. I love that he said he was pissed. I said, there you go. Come out and say it. Let that mentality sink in because he about to come out and be. This is another reason why the Nuggets about to lose. Because could you imagine? Just imagine any superstar have any other motivation against a game, against a series to prove a point. And just imagine if this was LeBron James that's coming in there pissed off, about to show the world why he's still the best player in the game. Like I've said, show after show, this dude is in year 17, 35 years old, changed his position to a point guard. Do you realize how hard it is to be a point guard? I mean, I understand he did it previous years this is the
only year he was really a point guard because he had Kyrie and all them other guys. Avery Bradley was a 2 guard. Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, those are real 2 guards. Avery Bradley was never a point guard. He was the main ball handler, but this year he was really the point guard.
Yeah,
led the league in assists, and they're not gonna get that man's credit, man. Only 16 votes. I'm getting mad just think about it because how you get a GOAT only 16 votes? How you get the best player in the league? He led the league in assists, 25, 8, and 10. First seed in the West. Beat all the people that they said better than him, whooped him, and he still only gets 16 votes because their guy Giannis can't win nothing in the regular playoffs. He's only good in the regular season, but you still give it to him. They need to change this award. I say this all the time. They need to change this award from MVP because he's not the most valuable player. He doesn't bring the most value to his team. They need to change it from MVP to the best regular season performance award. So I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this.
Yeah. So the dude went to the point guard position, and like you said, he's orchestrating everything. He controls everything. Everything that goes on the floor, it goes through LeBron. During the season, when LeBron went off the floor, they was horrible. The second unit was horrible on the floor. And LeBron, he comes right back in there and turns it back around again. This dude never cheats us. This dude competes on all ends. This year, he's actually playing elite defense. To me, I thought he should have made a defensive team. In my opinion, I thought he played decent enough. Not saying first team or second team. He possibly could have snuck in for a third team. I thought he played decent defense all year, in my opinion. But maybe just because he hadn't played this much defense in prior years. But I definitely thought this dude was the MVP. But he gonna show you why.
He gonna show you why. He gonna
next 2 rounds.
So, moving on. The next topic. We got to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. If he leaves this team, which he probably is. Where can you see him going? And I'm gonna give this to Chris first.
You say leave this team. I don't think this team is going to trade him.
Well, they're taking trade calls.
I don't think they're trading him, man. I don't think they're trading him. But say if I personally, to me, I don't think you trade Odell Beckham. But say they do trade Odell, since you want to be a running team now, you try to get a lineman or whatever. There's 3 places that come in mind. First is Baltimore for me. Baltimore. All they're missing is that number 1 dominant wide receiver. Hollywood Brown, he's very good, very talented. Snead, those guys are talented guys, but you're missing that true number 1. Odell is that true number 1. You get him with Lamar and that offense that is that dual threat offense that can run for 300 yards, pass for 400. Oh my God, that team goes from which they're already all the way up there, but now they jumped over where they at because you give them that number 1 dominant receiver that I've been saying for ever since Lamar really took over that's all they're missing. Next, New England. We saw how Cam Newton looked so far. You saw how he looked against the Dolphins. He did what he had to do to beat that team. Then you go against Seattle, and the whole game plan changed. You saw how good a thrower he was. The thing is, they don't have the weapons. Julian Edelman did his thing. Nicole Harris kind of played a little bit better, but you really don't have no weapons. You get him and Cam Newton, two guys, that quite honestly need a little bit of rejuvenation towards their career. You put Odell in that New England system where hopefully he can get it all together. They can make him really focus on football. It would not be no outside distractions. Him and Cam Newton are going to put up some crazy numbers. And then third, I have the Chicago Bears. I think they have third. I have no other team. Let's be honest. It's not a lot of teams that are really going to go out and get a top receiver just to get him. A lot of teams don't have the assets. You could say Green Bay, but I think Green Bay not really going to go out and get an Odell. I think they love what they have right now. I say Chicago because, man, if you were being honest right now, Mitchell Trubisky hasn't played that bad this season. Not saying he's a great quarterback, but this season he has shown major improvements. What they're missing in Chicago is a very good – they have Robinson, but you need somebody near him, man. You get him, you have Odell, you have Robinson, you still have a very good defense. It's not that same defense from 2018, but it's still a very good defense. You go get another weapon for Mitchell Trubisky, and hey, he can play better. But if not, you sign Nick Foles. Let him go in. Get another weapon for those guys. Their running game, isn't the best since they let go of Howard years ago. You go get another receiver. You let your defense talk. You go get your quarterbacks another weapon, and you're fine. So those are my three teams if he was to get traded, which I don't think is going to happen. But if he was to get traded, those are my three teams I think that could use him the best.
Big Shot, who do you have?
Well, with Odell, do I think they're going to get rid of him? Only time will tell. That's if Baker Mayfield can keep giving them the ball, because that's all you got to do. Just throw the ball up. Do like Eli Manning did. He closed his eyes and threw the ball. Odell Beckham will make you look good. Just give the man the damn ball and let him work. That's all he wants to do. Give him the ball. But if they do trade him, I do got Green Bay first, because I would love to see Aaron Rodgers and Odell Beckham together. That'll look good. But I thought about Kansas City. I know it's kind of crazy. If you get Patrick Mahomes and Odell Beckham, that'd be nasty.
It's over. The season will be over.
It's no way they're making that. I was being like teams that actually I would see trading for them. Those are the only three teams right now I can really see doing that.
Yeah. I can see Chicago, maybe doing it, because that'll help Trubisky. And he is, I hate to say it, he is playing pretty good. I wonder how long you keep that up. And the last one for me, I thought about, because Deshaun Watson, he needs somebody, and he needs somebody real, real, real bad. Maybe Odell could go over there and help him out.
Freddie?
Man, Big Sean, you stole one of mine.
Oh, man.
I was going to say the Houston Texans. Houston, if they're taking calls for Odell, give Deshaun Watson some help. Call the Browns, text the Browns, fax the Browns, email them, Facebook them. Do whatever you have to do to get these people attention. You let Hopkins go for a bag of chips.
If you crash, they let him go.
If you can get a replacement with an Odell Beckham Jr., you do it. Number two, me and Chris agree with it. That New England Patriots team, like last night, Edelman was a workhorse. This dude played with Tom freaking Brady, and last night he had his most receiving yards of the game. That's how crazy it is. Cam Newton is looking like a better passer. He's getting better. You can tell that he's healthy. If this man had another weapon on the offensive end, I think this team could make some noise. And then the third team, he's a bad
Green Bay, man. Green Bay.
Rodgers.
I started laughing because when Big Shaw mentioned Green Bay, I saw your eyes and you're like, whoa.
Could you imagine
Green Bay,
Beckham Jr., Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, that offensive line, that defense, a Matt LaFleur offense with Odell Beckham Jr.? Could you imagine that? I mean, woo, that dude. Hey, we've yet to see Odell with an elite quarterback. Okay, I mean, let's just be real. Eli was at the end of his career. Okay, he was not the same. Wow. Let's just be real. They had that one good year when they decided to go to Miami, when they knew they was going to Green Bay when it's cold. Let's just call a spade a spade. Baker Mayfield. To me right now, if he don't change it in this year, he's going to be a bust in the NFL for the Browns. So if we put Odell with an elite quarterback, it will rejuvenate his career.
Yeah, I think Eli Manning was elite. He was up there. I'm a Manning man. They're from here, so I gotta rock on my boys. But Eli Manning did get him the ball, so I will say that.
Yeah, but there was too many times that he was wide open. He would hold his hand out.
I say that. Yeah.
Either Eli get like a deer with headlights on him, about to get hit, or he didn't see him. I think Chris wanted to respond.
Yeah, I got a question for both of y'all. Like, are we doing just any team we want to see Odell on? Because if that's the case, he can come to Philly. I thought, we was, but I thought we was putting like, like on a realistic note. There's no way Green Bay is gonna real talk. I'm always real with it. There's no way Green Bay is gonna. I would have had him on his list, but there's no way they're gonna go out and trade for Odell when they could have drafted a receiver in the draft and they didn't do it. There's no way the Texans are going to trade for Odell. They went out and traded away DeAndre Hopkins. I would love to see him with the two teams you said, but on a realistic side, I don't see those two teams going out and getting him because they would have had opportunities to get wide receivers in the past. The one team traded away one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yeah. Another team decided not to draft them, so I just don't see those two teams doing it. But I think we can all agree, like New England, I think should be on everybody's list. I think that might be the best place, but man, y'all not agreeing with Baltimore? Like him and Baltimore, it's over.
It's over. Man, you go to Baltimore. Baltimore gonna take over, man.
What about Odell to Detroit?
I don't.
Detroit. No. They're not going to trade for him because they like what you going to get rid of. That team's going to rebuild in stage. They got Kenny Golladay. They got Jones. Like, if the Cleveland Browns are going to trade him. Now I will say this. I don't know about Baltimore because that's in the division. The teams don't really trade in divisions. So that might be a no-go. But if they put out like Baltimore has a lot of assets, so they may be able to do something done. But personally, I think I'd rather see him. I don't want to say Houston because I've seen Houston trade away the number one guy. Him and Green Bay alongside with him and Devontae Adams. Say his name, Freddie. The bad what?
He's the bad.
That'll be disrespectful, man. That'll be horrible.
Man, you give Aaron Rodgers two number one weapons with that running back tandem. That team goes from here.
That's it.
That team goes from here to all the way up there. So, like, if we were doing any team, that'd probably be my number one.
Yeah, I thought about I know he want to come home, but I don't think the Saints would get him. You got Michael Thomas and
no, yo, if he came to New Orleans, it'd be I'm only looking at the future. I'm not looking at right now because Drew Brees is not the same. But say 2-3 years when Drew Brees retires, any quarterback him and James.
Hey, can I break some breaking news, some insider news?
What's some insider news?
Okay.
So I don't know how true this is, but it was brought to my attention Sunday. So Odell, his dad is my preacher's wife's brother. So my preacher's wife and Odell's dad are brothers and sisters. So that's the Odell Beckham Jr. is her nephew. And she told me, she said, man, gotta get my nephew out of Browns. Him and Baker, they not clicking. And I said, really? She said, no. I said, where you think he going? She said, out of me being a Cowboys fan, I'd like to go to Dallas.
That ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. He don't want to get Aaron Thomas.
But she said, I wouldn't like him go with Aaron Rodgers. He'll turn him into a Hall of Famer. So,
you just wanted to say him and Aaron Rodgers.
That's
all you wanted to say.
That's a true story, by the way.
He just wanted to say him with Aaron Rodgers, man. Yeah. I mean, we can see.
But he's going to the Hall of Fame, I think, Odell Beckham.
You think he is?
He got to do more.
He's not going to the Hall of Fame. At least right now, how he is right now, he's not going to the Hall of Fame. Heck no.
I read a theory.
Now, if he would have continued like he was in New York and put up those crazy numbers, the quick as he was, then I could say so. But he had to start back over again and put up crazy numbers.
He got to do something.
Now, I read a theory. Now, I'm not sure how much true this is, but I read that they're considering making Odell going back to the Giants.
Oh, I love that.
He ain't gonna go back.
That's not happening. He ain't going back.
They're
not going back.
Could you imagine next year Saquon coming back healthy.
That ain't gonna happen. You can hang that.
Odell Beckham Jr.
That ain't happening, Freddie. You just
Dave Gettleman, you gave up too soon.
He way too soon. Like,
He-
my last little spill is like, I think a lot of teams might not want to take the risk on Odell because sometimes, like, perception is everything. Perception is reality. We all know, he could be a good player, but right now it's a lot of off the field. People want to say off the field issues with him. You holding your face.
on the field here.
It's a lot of things around. I'm not going to say it on air because they're not right to say on air, but it's a lot of things off the field that I said, perception is reality. So I think a lot of teams might not want to take the chance. But one team
incident with the white substance, that was the only thing.
Okay, we'll talk off there.
We be on the loose.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk off the air. But my point being is that the one team that can really put him in a culture that is no egos. Him and Cam could do their thing, but it's all about the team. New England, in my opinion, is the only team that can really say it. New England and Baltimore, to me, are the only two teams realistically that can go get him and save him, man.
Yeah.
It needs to be saved.
You think Aaron Rodgers?
It's not realistic. I don't think that's a realistic trade. They could have drafted a wide receiver in the draft. They could have surrounded Aaron Rodgers with talent before. They chose not to. So I don't think
the reason why I say that is because maybe if they want to make up for that, maybe they see how this dude has started the 2 weeks in the NFL, slanging the football.
I don't believe it. He's been balling. But he never dropped off, Freddie. He had a great year last year. He was balling last year. They still decided to draft a quarterback. Man, they're setting their ways. They're not now going to go. They drafted a quarterback for the future, so they're not now going to trade away future assets to get somebody for right now. If they're already thinking ahead, they're not going to regress. That's why Green Bay to me is not on that list.
Philly was on my list. That was the fourth. That was my fourth team.
We don't got no money, man. We're not trading for Odell.
They need more than Odell Beckham Jr. over there. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, you think that Daniel Jones the best quarterback in the East? Stop
in the NFC. Yes,
that's Eli Manning 2.0.
Nate, save us, Nate. Let's go to the next topic, Nate. Save us.
That's what I was just about to say. Let's move on. So I was actually going to move on, and before I get on to the next topic, Saints are winning 17-14. Raiders have the ball at New Orleans 14.
How
much time left?
It is
14 seconds.
14 seconds before halftime.
It's still halftime. It's good. I mean, that's all I got to say. Let's go on.
So, who are your top 5 wide receivers in the NFL right now, Freddie?
Ooh, Lord.
Man, it's hard to leave a conversation. You talk about Odell, and Odell's your favorite. Number one is Julio. It has to be Julio. The dude is Mr. Consistent year after year after year. It's pathetic that he's on an Atlanta Falcon team that has wasted this dude prime.
I can't say that. He gets his yards now. He got a great quarterback with him. It's everything else.
I know, but they wasted their prime in my belief. Tyreek Hill. No, not Tyreek. DeAndre Hopkins. The dude don't drop passes at all. The dude is Mr. Elite. No matter who his quarterback is, he is elite. Number 3, you got to go with the cheetah, man. That dude, him and Patrick Mahomes, they are special. They are special. This dude, did y'all see them the other night? That 50-yard bomb, the dude jumped on his Patrick Mahomes threw a pass, only him. Only he
he can. Well, 5 other quarterbacks can make that pass. I'm sorry.
Who? Name them.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
What? You just say maybe?
Whoa.
Russell Wilson can make any single throw. Russell Wilson can make any single throw.
Maybe
any single throw. Russell Wilson can make that. Matthew Stafford can make that throw.
No.
What? Matthew Stafford has a rocket launcher for an arm. Get out of your mind.
I almost got off my chair.
Out of your mind.
Quarterback, yeah.
We just seen Baker make a crossbody 45-plus bomb to Odell.
I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes was on the air, 2 feet in the air. He wasn't on the ground when he made
Baker always throws off the ground because he's short. Crossbody 40-yard bomb.
There's only 2 people in the league making that throw. So let me start over while I was disturbed by my take. Julio Jones, number 1. Tyreek Hill, number 2. Ooh, man. DeAndre Hopkins number 3. Man, I hate to do this, man. I hate to do this. Well, Mike Evans number 4. I mean, we seen what that dude did last year. And number 5, the Cowboy fans don't hear me. Amari Cooper.
Hold on, time out, Nate. Is this a top 5 wide receivers in the game right now, or what we seen this season?
It's my top 5.
Like your top 5. Like no, I'm saying, what we based off? What we seen this year so far, or who's the best in the game?
Best in the game.
Yeah, the best in the game.
So,
oh,
so Michael Thomas is in your top 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's bad, Freddie.
You cannot go back on your words. Now you can't. No, you can't go back.
You
No,
can't say
because you
it,
had
bro.
time to think about this. You can't go back. Now here's my list. Yeah, eat that. Julio at number. Julio at number 1. Julio can do everything. He's a freak of nature. You know, I don't necessarily want to say he wasted his prime because he has some good numbers, but I would love to see him on a contending team that can win something. But when you talk about all the stat, like Julio's a dog. He can run fast. He can jump high. He can run all the routes. He's a beast. Number 2, I also have D-Hop. D-Hop puts up the numbers. He had, like, people forget, without Deshaun Watson, who'd he have? Nobody. Still one of the best wide receivers in the game. Still giving you double-digit touchdowns, 1,400 yards, 100 catches. He don't drop nothing. Third, I have Michael Thomas. I know Michael Thomas might have a stat, but when you that, number 1 guy, you just running the slants. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Michael Thomas is the real deal. He's third on this list. I think, honestly, 1, 2, 3, I wouldn't be mad if they were interchangeable anybody others list. But, man, Michael Thomas deserves to be on the top 5. Freddie, I don't know what you were thinking. Michael Thomas led the league in reception, receiving, like so many stats. He leads the league in for wide receivers year after year after year. He's Mr. Consistent. It sucks that he's hurt this year because he probably would have replicated what he did last year. Now, fourth, I have, Devontae Adams. How you don't have Devontae Adams on the list?
Man.
What are you doing, Freddie? Yeah, you're messing up. How you not have Devontae Adams? I mean, he's arguably the best route runner in this league. He can go. He can run every route. He's fast. He just, deceptively quick. He can catch. He's a problem. Consistently has some of the best numbers in the game. If you want to go by numbers, if you want to go by film, dude is a baller. Now, fifth, I'm going Tyreek Hill. I just think, fifth, it was hard for me. I had Tyreek or Chris Godwin, but I'm going with Tyreek because, man, how fat. One, he came into this league kind of return guy very, very fast. Now he's turned into a real wide receiver, somebody that you cannot press because he will beat you off ball. He's learning the routes better. His footwork is getting better. Everything with him is improving. And he also has that, it feels like he ran a 4.1. The dude is one of the best receivers in this game. Freddie, the fact that you didn't have the best route runner in this game, the fact that you didn't have Michael Thomas on your list, the fact, I'm just disappointed in you, man.
Honestly,
Especially from a guy that loves Green Bay. How do you not have Devontae Adams on your list? I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in you right now.
let me rebut on that, man. Honestly,
You can't redo your list.
I'm not gonna redo it, but let me say
Big Shot, go first, and then
Ready? Well,
Big Shot, go first, and then Freddie.
I am a Bama man all the way, so I gotta pit Julio Jones number 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's my man. I've been watching him for the longest.
Yes,
and Michael Thomas number 2,
mm-hmm.
and my boy D-Hop, he's my number 3, and Devontae Adams, he's number 4, and my number 5 guy is Amari Cooper.
I'm not mad at that.
That is my. I'm a Bama man, bro. I gotta come on.
Ooh, you see what he did at Bama? I love that pick, man. I think he's a dog. Of course, I hate the Cowboys, but I recognize their talent. I've been watching Amari Cooper since college, man. He's a beast. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you for putting him in number 5. I think number 5 for me, it was like 3 people I could have picked.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but Julio.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not gonna lie. Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas totally slipped my mind. Trust me, if they wouldn't have, they would have been in my top 5. They totally slipped my mind. I had like a brain fart. I'm so sorry about that. Trust me, it hurts me to have a Cowboy in my top 5. Trust me.
I want everybody to know
It hurts me to have a Chiefs in my top 5, but I do.
He picked the Cowboy over Devontae Adams. Go ahead, Nate.
Number 5, I got to go with Devontae Adams.
Yes, sir.
Number 4, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I'm going to go with Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I'm going to go with Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Who's number 1?
What?
Who's number 1?
Number 1, I got to think on that.
There's only one wide receiver left to deserve number 1.
Come on, Nate.
There's only one wide receiver that deserves number one.
Don't you say Deshaun Jackson?
Chill, bro. Deshaun Jackson's a goat.
Andre Hopkins.
All right, there you go.
He's about to say Sutton. I know he's just looked.
He
He
probably-
want to say
Number
Jerry
6.
Jeudy. But listen, man, like I think we can all agree on the top three. Like I said, to me, in my eyes, the top three is interchangeable. If you want to have Michael Thomas, hey, all the stats back him up. What he does on the field backs it up. Same thing with Julio and D-Hop. These guys, in my opinion, they're the top three, and everybody else you're arguing who's below them.
Yeah.
Those three can do anything on the field. They're amazing talents, man. And I'm glad we get to see those three legends right now in our my lifetime at least.
I have DeAndre Hopkins on my fantasy team, and I still have him blinking on him. I still was blinking on him.
But yeah, I think all the lists were, outside of Freddie, who had a brain fart and literally forgot two great guys on his list, picked the Cowboy over Devontae Adams. I feel like we all had a very, very similar list. The top five to me, it's kind of all the same. The top five, I think, especially the top three is all the same. But everything below that, dude, there's so many talented receivers in the game. I didn't have Amari Cooper on my list, but he deserves to be on here. Mike Evans is a talent of his own. Godwin, like the list can go on. Kenny Galloway, you made that joke about DJ. Hey, look at all the Hall of Fame numbers. I'm not saying now, but man, you put up the numbers behind Jerry Rice. There's not a lot of receivers that had them top big plays. Like, list can go on and on about.
Man, you can throw Megatron. If you did a top 10, top 20.
I mean, we want to do a quick top five all time. You can Megatron might be on my list. I'm gonna be honest.
I got Jerry Rice. How on my list?
Yeah, Jerry Rice is here. Jerry Rice is here. T.O., Randy Moss. Julio. I'm gonna say this. I think Julio's gonna sneak into people's list. Or by the end of the year, he's sneaking in.
Yes.
So before we move on, just give a quick update. It's halftime right now at 17-17, tied Raiders and Saints.
I ain't surprised.
My prediction is not as bold as people thought.
I did not say it was bold because when you don't give Drew Brees Michael Thomas, one, who's he going to throw to? He's not the same quarterback. This team is going to go by their running game and defense. The Raiders have a good defense, decent defense, and they have some weapons. I told you I'm not, calling you a pick a bold pick. I just didn't agree with it. But it's only halftime. The New Orleans Saints got more experience. Who knows? They might come back and dominate.
Yeah, man. But that's a nice stadium too in Las Vegas.
Beautiful stadium, man. Which fans could be there?
Top 5 quarterbacks this season.
Oh, this season.
Wait. So yeah, we're going. Hold on. Before to clarify, we're going on what we saw this season, right? What we saw the first two games.
What we saw this season.
The first two games. Okay, because I had two separate lists.
Okay.
I know my first list is going to, hurt a lot of people's hearts. But go ahead, Freddie.
I'm going to give this to Freddie first.
Mm-hmm.
He plays for a disrespectful franchise that drafted a quarterback in the first round. He got a chip on his shoulder. You know what? He said, I ain't going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. He's a bad, bad man in the name of Aaron Rodgers. Have you seen that man this year? Have you seen him? This dude has been nothing but special. Looking like Aaron Rodgers of old. Do I need to show you what he's done in the first two games? I know people should have thought it was me, Russell Wilson, number one. I understand Russell Wilson have been balling, but he's on my list. Don't worry. Number one, the first game against the Minnesota Vikings, he just put up a 364 yards, only 4 touchdowns. Should have been 5 because one of the receivers dropped it in the end zone. Then he had 0 interceptions. He had a QBR of 127.5. So, I mean, the dude has been balling. Yesterday, even though he had Aaron Jones going off for 160 yards rushing yesterday, you can definitely tell that he was doing his thing. Aaron Rodgers still did his thing. He put up 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, still 107.6 QBR. Yes, Chris, don't worry. I don't have your boy Carson Wentz on my list at all. Number two is Russell Wilson. Have you seen what this brother have done since the season has started. This dude, I mean, granted, this team is loaded from the defensive end and the offensive end. He have weapons on the offensive end. This is the reason why I don't put him over Aaron Rodgers, because he have more weapons on the offensive end than Aaron Rodgers. That's why I have him number 2. When you have a DK Metcalf, a Lockett, a Carsons, I mean, this dude is unbelievable. I'm still gonna give him credit for number 2 because I mean he's only kept nine touchdowns, 1 interceptions between both games. This dude has been loaded on the. He's not just passing the ball, not running the ball. This dude has been getting it done. And number 3, why won't I have the dude that won a Super Bowl last year, and Patrick Mahomes? Did you see him make that throw yesterday? Did you see him still be special? Do you see him still making throws that only him and Aaron Rodgers can make? Russell Wilson, number 3. And number 4, there's a lot of expectations on this man. Nate called him out. He's talking about a Madden curse. Nobody care about a Madden curse. Lamar Jackson. Why? This dude team is loaded, as Chris say, week out and week in. This dude is, yes, he's missing a number 1 option on the wideout position, but guess what? He still get it done. This dude, he still can run. He can still pass. He can do it all. He's number 4. And, man, it was hard with number 5. But, I believe Tom Brady will find a way to be the 5th best quarterback this year. This year, he will be a top 5 quarterback over Drew Brees, over a Deshaun Watson, over a Dak Prescott, over a Cam Newton. He will be a top 5 quarterback.
I got to go.
Just because he have 2 receivers that's over 1,000 yards on there. You had I guess everybody leaving the screen. Hey, I guess I have to do the show by myself today. I mean, I'm the only one bringing the real talk today anyway, ladies and gentlemen. That's my top 5. Starting off with that bad man and Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so
I don't know why y'all walked off and left. Like, why did y'all leave?
Because you put Tom Brady on that list.
Yes, I put.
Can I go now?
Yes, I did.
The question was, who these first 2 games, who has been the best quarterbacks? Not who's going to have the best season. The first 2 games, who have been the best quarterbacks? Now it's my turn. Let me give you all the real, because you're not the only one that gives the real.
Let's go.
The number 1, without a doubt, is Russell Wilson.
Please.
In the first 2 games, he's 52 for 63, 82% completion percentage, 610 yards, 9 touchdowns. Nobody has been better than him. This dude has been throwing dimes. You say he has the weapons, so what? Just because you have weapons don't mean you don't deserve to be number 1. He had weapons before, and this team's always been it has always been a running team since he entered the league. This year, they finally let the leash off the dog, and the dog is balling. The first 2 games, he has been by far the best QB. Number 2, I'm going Cam Newton. I'm surprised you don't have Cam Newton on your list for out of the first 2 games quarterbacks you've seen. I'm surprised. Even at 5, you disrespected Cam like that. You saw what he did against Seattle. I mean, this dude was throwing dimes to 2 receivers. You saw week 1. Okay, let me run the ball. Week 2, let me show you what I can do with my arm, man. Cam Newton has been balling for a guy that nobody believed in, for a guy that people said are washed up, not talented enough, said he's going to have a terrible year. I think him against Seattle proved why this dude has bounced back. I mean, that was a great game. That game alone deserves to be in his top 5. But also what he did against Miami, like I said, 15 rushes, 2 touchdowns. Cam Newton balled out the first 2 games. Third, I have Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, what we seen from Lamar, especially last year, was a guy who's an exceptional runner. He can pass, but we saw how exceptional of a runner he was. Now this year, what he's showing you, what do you open your mouth for?
When is Aaron Rodgers on your list, sir?
You'll see. We talking about the first 2 games. I have Lamar Jackson at number 3. Like I said, we saw what kind of runner he was last year. This year, you're seeing a poise in the pocket. He's showing himself to be a whole different type of QB. We knew what Michael Vick could do in Atlanta. Then he came to Philly and started throwing dimes. Lamar Jackson is looking, way more like a quarterback, man. He always looked like a quarterback, but what I seen these first 2 games, man, I mean, the dude is balling out. Now, number 4, like I said, these are off the first 2 games. I have Josh Allen, 70% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 2-0.
Yeah, Freddie's gone.
He gone, right? We talking about what we saw the first 2 games. How is Josh Allen now on his list when he has the most passing yards out of any quarterback in the first 2 games? I just don't understand this question. Big Show, am I wrong? They asked who has been the best 5 quarterbacks the first 2 games. The man has the most yards. The man has a high completion percentage. The man has 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Yeah, he's not on nobody's list, and he's 2-0. From what we've seen from Josh Allen, this was a guy that we knew he had a great arm, but could he make every throw? I mean, the dude is out here balling. You know, I can't wait for Freddie to come back because how is Josh Allen now on his list? Now, 5th, I do have Aaron Rodgers. I have Aaron Rodgers on my list at number 5. Like, we're talking about what we saw the first 2 games. All these quarterbacks have played great. That's why they're all on my list. Like, Aaron Rodgers at number 5, and I think those are the top 5 quarterbacks I've seen the first 2 games. Freddie, I don't understand why you left. Yes, that for everybody listening, the question was who have been the best quarterbacks in the first 2 games. How do you not have somebody that has 6 touchdowns and the most passing yards on your top 5 list? We're talking about what quarterbacks have been the best. Patrick Mahomes is not touching none of these quarterbacks. He hasn't been. We all know how great he is, but in the first 2 games, he hasn't had better first 2 games than nobody on his list. This question was who
How
had
many yards did Josh Allen have, sir?
over 700. No other quarterback is coming close. What's their passing yards?
What's their record?
2-0.
They undefeated.
So
He ain't over Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got the same numbers. Higher QBR. This dude has shown us why he's still the baddest man on the planet.
But the question was, if I'm not mistaken, who has had the best 2 games? The man
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers is 5th on my list. Did I say any quarterback is playing bad? No.
Josh Allen ain't over him.
In the first 2 games, Josh Allen has what has Aaron Rodgers done especially? They're both 2-0. They both have the passing yards. They both have the touchdowns. Nobody has, took the only person that's head and shoulders right now above anybody is Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers did nothing compared to Josh Allen. When you talk about their stats, you said the stats are the same, right?
Over Josh Allen. I mean, how was Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers? Explain to me. You have a DK back and you're going to penalize a man for finally having weapons. He had weapons his entire career, yet they always been a running team. So now when they pass the ball, you're going to penalize him for letting it loose. You're making no sense right now. You put these same weapons around Aaron Rodgers. Okay. He's going to do the same thing, if not more. He's going to.
So what's the problem here? Because I don't have Aaron Rodgers at number 1. Aaron Rodgers isn't number 1 on any.
He's not number 5. He's not number 5.
When it comes to passing yards, he's number 6. Okay,
he's not number 5.
When it comes to touchdowns, okay, he's number 4. That's cool. When it comes to completion percentage, he's not even in the top 10, my guy. So listen. I have the stats right in front of me. So listen, I have Aaron Rodgers on my list. Be grateful, okay? Because this is who had the best 2 games. He had a very good 2 games. He hasn't had the best, bro. Look at every stats. Russell Wilson hasn't, threw bad balls. He has a lot of drops. Okay, Russell Wilson has been by far the best quarterback. You're being a homer right now. You're talking about Freddie gives the real. Freddie gives no real, none at all. Don't believe the hype around it.
Let's a big shot go.
Let's get the show and Nate not to have a heart attack. I'm gonna let it keep going. I have a lot more to say. Trust me. Yeah.
Let Big Shot go. Well, who do you have in the first 2 games?
So. Now I wish we had an overall. It'd be better, but like for right now, it's a toss up between Cam Newton and Russell Wilson.
What?
Yo, he's missing a point. This is who had the best 2 games. Russell Wilson and Cam Newton.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Don't Cam Newton have an interception?
Okay, and
it wasn't even hard to hit.
Aaron Rodgers don't.
So did that just because he don't have an interception? That means I'm sorry, Big Shaw. Let me hear your list.
Right, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. Let me hear your list because I like it so far.
Well, I'm gonna go with Cam Newton as number 1. It was a toss up. It was a great game last night. I wish at the end of that play they would have threw the ball instead of running it because they're doing the same play. So I'm gonna go with Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, and number 3. I know it's gonna shock some people. He's been playing good, but nobody's really talking about him. Kyle Murray, my guy in Arizona. He's playing real good. And I hope he keeps it up. And Aaron Rodgers, he's number 4. All right. And Lamar Jackson, he's number 5. Because I want him to win a playoff game. That's why I got him at number 5. He needs to win the playoff game.
But this list though, I think Freddie's getting away from it a lot.
No, I'm not getting away from it. I'm ready. You
This
got
li- this
Cam
li-
Newton over Aaron Rodgers.
yes.
Yeah, and I had to do
Aaron,
it.
Aaron, Aaron Rodgers went against who? The Lions, who the Vikings. Cam Newton just went against the sack Seahawks team and was dotting them up. Give that man some credit because you was just giving no, because before the season you was giving this man all the credit. The fact that you didn't have him on this list when he balled out this
He
year,
ain't better than Aaron Rodgers.
he has better numbers than Patrick Mahomes, but you have Patrick Mahomes above him. Come on.
Yes, he have not played better than Aaron Rodgers. Let's go over the numbers. In the first week, he had 155 yards.
First of all, I said Russell Wilson was my number one, so compare him and Russ because I said Russell Wilson was my
I'm
number
talking
one.
about Aaron Rodgers.
I know, and I said Russell Wilson was over Aaron Rodgers.
I ain't talking about Russell Wilson. He had 100 and a .7 QBR. All right, good. Last night he had 397 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception with a 94.26 rating. Tell me how is he better than Aaron Rodgers? When Aaron Rodgers
Who are you comparing? Who are you comparing? Who are you comparing? Who are you comparing him to?
How is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
Who are you comparing Aaron Rodgers to? You're not answering that question. You threw out numbers and then
Cam Newton.
Because Cam Newton has shown that he's put, bro. He went against a sack Seahawks team with no weapons, just like him. He went against the Dolphins.
It wasn't about the weapons. You just said it don't matter that he.
I know, but I'm saying you keep wanting to talk about weapons, so let's talk about it. But then we went to Miami. Okay, Miami. He didn't pass the ball that much, but he ran 15 rushes for 70 something yards and 2 touchdowns, bro. He dominated the game with only throwing that many passes by running the ball. Okay, quarterback. It's not only about what you do with the arm, but you can do stuff with your legs. That counts as being a great season, having 2 great games. It doesn't count.
How does he play better than Aaron Rodgers? Tell me
what I seen on the field. What
Can
I
I
seen
do
on
my
the
list,
field.
please?
Yeah, get to listening.
Yes, because he about to give me a heart attack.
Okay.
For what? I mean,
Big Shaw, I like who's on your list, other than I disagree with Cam Newton.
y'all tripping, bro. Y'all tripping.
Thank you.
Okay. Chris, I do agree with Josh Allen being on the list.
Thank you. Most passing yards with 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. How?
He ain't over Aaron
Here
Rodgers.
is my list.
Whatever,
Here is
bro.
my list.
Yeah.
Number 5, Kyler Murray.
Not mad at that.
Number 4, Josh Allen.
Love it.
Number 3, let's toss up Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson.
Russell Wilson that low?
Let him talk. He better be respectful.
And then the number 2 is the opposite. So who's not number 3 is number 2. And then number 1, I'm going to agree with Freddie. Aaron Rodgers at number 1.
He's a
I get
smart man.
I get that they were playing against weak teams,
Y'all tripping,
but they put up a lot of points against weak teams.
Y'all tripping.
42 points in the first game, and then 42 points again in the second.
Did Aaron Rodgers throw for a gazillion yards in the second game? Did Aaron Rodgers have all the touchdowns
Chris,
in the
you're
second
missing
game?
the point. This dude here played, last year arguably had one of his worst years to Aaron Rodgers standards, and this year he got a chip on his shoulders, and he's like, okay. He got a chip on his shoulder. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna show you why I'm still the baddest man on the."
Russell Wilson has always been a guy that hands the ball off 30 times. They're letting the leash. They let. Okay, and so when they Aaron Rodgers has always been a gunslinger. Now exactly, and so he's showing what we already know. Russell Wilson, we never seen him had the capability. We never seen Russell Wilson be able to throw this much in the first 2 games, and he did nothing but, bro, 80 completion percentage with over 60 something passes, 9 touchdowns, all those yards. The fact that he's not number 1, and the fact that you don't have Cam Newton on your list, like, bro, your list to me make no sense.
Why would I have Cam Newton on the list? And if my players have played better,
and then answer me this: how has Patrick Mahomes played better than Josh Allen when Josh Allen is killing in every single statistical
who's winning right now? Who's winning out of Cam Newton and Patrick Mahomes? Who's 2-0? Who's 1-1?
Josh Allen is 2-0. Get your facts straight, boy. What are you talking about?
Cam Newton. I don't care about.
And then I just switched it up and said, "How do you have no Josh Allen?" I asked you, "How do you have no Josh Allen?"
So at the end of the year, you telling me Josh Allen go have a better year than Cam?
But the question was, who has had the best 2 games out of any quarterback? We're not talking about down the line, because if we're talking about down the line, some of those people are obviously not going to be on my list. We're talking about who had the best 2 games. Josh Allen has the most yards, has all the touchdowns, the completion percentage, the QBR. Patrick Mahomes is great, but he has not had the better 2 games out of any quarterback. Man, you out your mind, bro.
Nate, you can continue as Aaron Rodgers number 1 all day, every day.
Patrick Mahomes is 16th right now in quarterback yards, bro. He only has 5
That
touchdowns,
might
bro.
be different after week 3 is over because we're going to have to see what happens in week 3. But I do disagree about one thing. Why do you have Patrick Mahomes on your list? And why do you have Tom Brady?
That's what I'm saying. Over Josh Allen, who has the most yards.
I
all that stuff.
believe when you give over Tom Brady 2 receivers that have had over 1,000 yards rushing.
Bro, we're talking about the first 2 games, though. What has he done in the first 2
I can
games?
still say 2 games. You know why? He's made the Tampa Bay relevant again. Nobody even mentioned them until Tom Brady came.
What has he done against the Saints and then the Carolina Panthers to make them have a better? No, first of all, what has he done in the first 2 games that have been better than Josh Allen? That's been better than Cam. Like they all have the same stats, especially Josh Allen, who's 2-0 with the most passing yards. I love Tom Brady. This is who had the best first 2 games, Freddie. Tom Brady is nowhere close when it comes to the best 2 games out of any quarterback. Not even top 20.
He's made him irrelevant. Irrelevant.
We're talking about who had the best 2 games. He didn't have that. He's not there in yards and touchdowns, QBR, completion percentage. He's not there in none of that. So how is he at the top 5 quarterbacks with the best 2 games?
Well, that's the case. I put Kyler Murray in there.
Go ahead. You could have. We both had the Cowboys. But if you want to be honest, Dak is over Tom Brady for the first 2 games. We're talking about who's played better the first 2 games. Dak has all the numbers.
I 100% agree.
Dak
Dak
has
is
all the
better
numbers.
than Tom Brady.
Dak over 400 yards and rushed for 3 touchdowns last week. But we're talking about who has had the best 2 games, not who's going to have the best season. Because if that's the case, then a lot of people on my list won't be on there. We're talking about who had the best 2 games, and you put Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes in there.
If that's the case, take Tom Brady off and put Kyler Murray in there. I'm not putting Cam in there.
Go ahead. No, I didn't have Tom Brady on my list, so why'd I gotta take him out? Who wasn't on my list?
Cam on there because Cam have not done enough to be in the top 5.
But Cam has more passing yards than Tom Brady. You know, same record and all that.
I said since we're not going off of all this year, put Kyler Murray in there for the first 2 games.
So go ahead if you want. I mean, he deserves it.
But Aaron Rodgers number 1, no question about it. And Jason, I see what you put on there, sir. If you want to be like the Green Bay organization, don't want to support that bad man and jump off the bandwagon. That dude has been carrying that franchise for years. Y'all don't deserve him. Trade him. You don't deserve him.
They never gonna trade him.
They need to. They don't deserve him.
Just to give a quick update, the Las Vegas Raiders just scored a touchdown against New Orleans. It's now 24-17.
They're gonna burn the state of Louisiana down.
I'm not surprised, but man, we gotta move on because me and Freddie.
We can go all day with this.
We can go all day on this, man. It's
now, all time. I got a good list too.
All time.
So we're getting we have now at 1 hour and 11 minutes. So I'm going to start with Chris. Give your 30 seconds to a minute.
No. These topics are 5 right here. We got to go.
We got to go. We can't skip those last 2 topics. I'm sorry.
All right.
We got time. Hour and 30 minutes. We got time.
Okay. So will Anthony Davis stay on the Lakers? And my guess is yes.
Now, when we say this, we talking about next year, or we talking about 5 years down the line?
Well, because it's
next year, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Freddie first.
Go ahead, Freddie. I think we're gonna agree on this one.
Of course, I mean Anthony Davis. Have you realized what happened the last 6 or 7 years when you was in New Orleans and you
bad team around you?
You did not get the attention, but now you're in Hollywood. You're playing in the Staples Center. You're playing for the LA team, not the Clippers that choke. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to mention that. The Lakers. You're talking about the most historic franchise. You have a possibility to win a championship. You own a team with the greatest player in the game today, in King James, LeBron James. Why would he leave? The Lakers are going to give him the house. They're going to give him the everything that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
They will be able to lock Anthony Davis down. I keep hearing rumors about maybe Chicago, but
no.
A team who's going to be in the same position as New Orleans. Why would you do that?
I cannot see Chicago taking Anthony Davis. Chris,
I will
take Anthony Davis. Trust me.
I will say this:
you just never know.
If he went to Chicago and they have a top pick, that top pick, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter. I'm not saying that they're going to win the chip, but I'm going to say then they're going to be a top 5 seed in the East. But I will say this: he's not leaving LA. I mean, come on now. That trade wouldn't have went down if he was gonna leave. He's going to get locked up in LA. They're going to win the chip this year, and after they win that chip, he's definitely going to be locked up. Now, I will say this: if they was to lose in the Western Conference Finals and he had, and things went different, would he have stayed? Who knows? But that's not the case. The case is they about to, do their thing against Denver. Yeah. Hopefully, go against Boston. But I have Miami winning. Don't matter. Lakers still winning the chip. Then they're going to lock him up. We talk about next season, but I will say this: when LeBron retires, we don't know how this roster. We don't know when LeBron's going to retire. But let's say 5-6 years down the line, right? Who knows what this roster is going to look like? If it's a bad roster, he might want out of there. But for right now, for the next couple of years, he's staying in LA. I mean, he dealt with the small market, a team that wasn't trying to put pieces. Or no, I cannot say that they put pieces around him, but it's couldn't get it done. Now he's on a team that can get it done. He's going to want to stay. He's going to want to compete for a ring. He has all those stats. He showed how dominant he is. But every player wants a ring. He's in the best situation possible for him, his career, his family, his life. Man, he's staying in LA. He's getting it done.
Hey, Chris, I got a question. Do you think LeBron, like you say he's staying here 5-6 years, do you think LeBron will retire as a Laker, or do you think he'll make a move?
I think he's going to retire as a Laker. That's just because where everything is set up for him. There's no point in moving around anymore. I don't know honestly where else he would go. I doubt he go back to Cleveland for a third time. I think he's just going to wrap it up right now. Like he's not going to go. After let's say he does leave, he's only going to one team and then retire. He's not going back and forth. If it's not LA, the only other place I could see him going is Cleveland. I doubt that's going to happen. I think he's most likely going to retire in LA. I think if just touch on this, I think LeBron can play like 8 more years, to be honest. If you want to be honest, I think because he's not a guy that has to get up shots to be successful. He could just be a playmaker and just pass the ball the entire game and just score when necessary. LeBron can play in his 40s. But honestly,
you want to though.
Once he breaks every single stat, once he gets all the rings, I don't know. I can't speak on what he wants to do because I just know he wants to be the best and he wants to win rings. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in the league until he wins more than Jordan.
So we'll go to Big Shaw, and I have another question about Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, he in the best spot, But Chicago don't sound bad, but I wouldn't even think about that. He's in he's playing in the Staples Center, the house that the legend, Kobe Bryant helped build. It's too, he just got everything around him, And with LeBron James, he looks good. He don't look run down anymore like he did in Cleveland. He looks real good. I think LeBron can play. For a little while. But Anthony Davis, he's not going to. He'll be a fool to leave LA.
A fool.
He'd be a fool, man.
So, my other question about Anthony Davis is if Anthony Davis leaves this offseason, would the Lakers trading away 4 pieces and then 3 draft picks, would that trade have been worth it if he was only going to stay for one season?
No.
What?
If the Lakers win the championship, it's worth it. Point blank.
The difference I think between that, and like you said, Toronto Raptors franchises, the Raptors never won a championship before. So even Kawhi leaving and stuff, to getting rid of DeRozan, who's arguably the best, Raptor of all time, then for them it'd be worth it. But for this Lakers franchise that's used to winning, I don't know. Because who's to say they couldn't have got something else? And, you see what Brandon Ingram is doing now. I think next year, even if he stayed in LA, he'd be able to do the same thing. So who's to say that trade is worth it? But, if they win a championship, some are going to argue yes. I think it's a toss-up, though, because it's just like after he leaves, there's going to be so many questions around that it's just too much going on. I don't think he leaves.
No, he's not going nowhere. No.
So the top 5 greatest NBA players of all time.
I can say this. I think what I would hope. What I can't say nothing, man. I can't.
Man, this can go all night with this one, man.
It's going to be.
Let's change it up.
Okay.
They're starting 5 of all time.
The best story.
I like that all 5 doing.
Let's do it all 5.
Can we do both? Can we do both? Let's do both.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's do the top 5 of all time. To ending up with your best 5 all time starting lineup.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Big Shaw first on the best 5 of all time.
Of all time. This was a conversation that I had a few days ago. and it went for about 3 hours, man. We went all the way. I'm gonna go with Bill Russell because I have to go back and look at all his games. I didn't look at all of them, but I looked at some of his games and all that, and I was like, man, this dude's really good. So I got Bill Russell. I got Kareem. It was a toss-up between Kareem and Magic Johnson. I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as number 2. I love that. And it'll be bad. I got to go with Magic Johnson as number 3, because he's Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look at Freddie's face.
I love your list. You can argue all these guys is number 1, man. I'm sorry. Magic Johnson changed the league forever. 6'9" point guard. Just to say this, if that incident didn't happen with him and he'd have to lead the league because what happened, he could have played for another 5. Oh my! If he'd had it, he still had years of his prime left. The stats would have been out this world. We all know. I love your list so far, Big Shaw.
And we went with this one too. I got Elgin Baylor as number 4 and Dominique Wilkins.
Now I will say this: I love Elgin Baylor on your list. He changed the game.
Yeah, talk to me.
I would say you kind of crazy for not having Michael Jordan or LeBron on your list.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Where's you going with this?
But I mean,
I know, man.
On a serious note, the one, two, who's number 4 again? Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, he was 4.
See, one through 3 to me, I think that have a legitimate spot in a lot of people's list to be number 1. Elgin Baylor, a lot of people, especially my age, don't know about it. But my grandfather told me everything I need to know about Elgin Baylor. Dude is an all-timer. Dude changed the game forever. If it wasn't for him retiring early, he would have had rings that would have just solidified his greatness.
Yeah.
And number 5, Dominique Wilkins. I will say this though. Dominique Wilkins is, to my eyes, one of the most underrated players of all time. Was way more than a dunker. He was somebody that averaged over 20 points like 13 straight years.
Yeah.
But he's nowhere near LeBron or Michael Jordan.
No.
But I love you. Like if it's your top, your personal top 5, everybody but Dominique Wilkins, I think, can be on that list. But I'm not going to argue with you and your personal list. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. I'm going to give this to Chris then.
See, for me, I had a hard time with the 5th spot. So right now I'm gonna go 5 through 1. For me, it was a hard time, but this is my top 5. This is a guy I share a birthday with. This is a guy, in my opinion, who was he was the most dominant player ever to play the game. I'm going Shaquille O'Neal, man. Like I said, it's a guy I share a birthday with. It's a guy I look up to, and this dude was special in the basketball court. I mean, he's more than just dominance. He had post moves now, but I mean, when you're that dominant, you can just go out and bully anybody. And when he was in his athletic prime, I mean, you talking about a guy that big, that strong, that can run the court like a guard. He was unstoppable with this stuff he did in LA. People forget he was in LA from he was in LA from 96 to like 04. He's in LA for 4 years before they start winning chips, putting up big numbers. And then that first run that he went on, winning the MVP, the finals MVP. I mean, he was dominant. He was a guy averaging like 30 and 15 in the finals. Shaq is the all-timer to me. I think if he'd have stayed in in a better shape towards the end of his career, his numbers would have been 35 times better. Number 4, I'm going Kobe, man. RIP to the Black Mama. Kobe deserves to be on this list. I mean, you talking about guy and me. Kobe to me is the toughest shot maker I've ever seen. Like, it looked like sometimes he wants to shoot contest. Like, everybody makes fun of JR, but it looked like sometimes Kobe wants to shoot contested shots. Like, just look what he did without, Shaq. That span he had without Shaq, and then before he got Pau Gasol, he's putting up some crazy numbers. They tried to double team when they was throwing illegal defenses at him, zones at him. He was still doing whatever he wants, man. I think Kobe's by far one of the best scorers of all time. I think I would let people try to criticize his leadership. I love somebody crazy like that being my leader, because man, if you gonna be crazy like that, I know you're a dog on the court. I can get behind you, man. I think Kobe was a great guy. Like I said, rest in peace to Kobe. I think he definitely deserves to be on this list, top 5 points of all time. Number 3, I'm going Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now it was tough for me putting him number 3. I wanted to put him higher. But I think a lot of people needs to put credit, give this man some credit, put some respect on this man's name. Everybody wants to throw rings and accomplishments. Well, he got all the rings. He has, if I'm not mistaken, 6 championships. He has the MVPs. He has the finals MVPs. He's also the leading scorer in NBA history. Everybody wants to say, oh, this or that. This guy gets buckets. Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has the most points of all time.
Right.
Just because these guys are tall doesn't mean it doesn't take skill. I mean, we see 7-footers in the league right now that aren't crap. I mean, I can't say what I want to say, but they trash. I mean, they on the bench. It's some 7-footers that are not in the NBA. So it takes skill to be a 7-footer and dominate in this league. And I think Kareem was, one of those top dominant guys like Shaq. I just so happen to have Kareem number 3 because all the accomplishments he have. Number 2, I'm taking Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a dominant career. Yeah, I'm taking Michael Jordan at number 2. When I say greatest players of all time, I'm saying what they did on the court. No disrespect to Michael Jordan. People going to say, oh, you aged this, that, and the third. Man, I watched over 400 full games of Michael Jordan games. They're all on YouTube. They're all on TV. I watched them all. What I seen, I would say this. I wish I would have saw that in person. You talking about a guy that electrifying? Like if it's looking like that right now, I wish I got a chance to see that in person. A guy that electrifying, that dominant on offensive, defensive end. I mean, Michael Jordan was just pure dominance, man. It's not much I have to say why he's on this list at number 2. Because number 1, I'm going LeBron James. I think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm talking about what he did on the court. This guy is going to go down with the most points of all time, over 10,000 rebounds, over 10,000 assists, have all the steals, the blocks. He's going to break every single statistical category 16 times All NBA. This dude has never dropped off. He's ever since he entered the league, after his first year, you're talking about year 2 to right now, you can never say he left his prime. This is a guy who's, everybody wants to say consistency. Kareem played a long time, but he wasn't, in his prime his whole career. LeBron James has never left his prime. This dude is pure dominance. They want to say, oh, the finals and the rings. You look at it, he goes 2007, carries the trash team to the finals. Nothing Michael Jordan has ever did. Michael Jordan got praised for getting swept just because he had a big game against the Celtics. Talking about LeBron James that carried his team to the finals in 2007. You talking about LeBron James team that went against the greatest team ever assembled with nobody around him. Still made a way to get to the playoffs. Still did his thing in the finals. Just didn't have pieces around him. On the court, I don't think anybody is as great as LeBron James is. That's just my opinion. Other people have different opinions. I'm not going to argue with it because at the end of the day, all these guys could be 1 through 5. But I just on the court, LeBron James, there's nobody better than him on the court at all. I don't think so.
Before Freddie goes, I agree 100% with Chris's list. Freddie?
Of course you do. All right. Number 1 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I love that. I love it.
Why? Because people want to put Jordan first all the time, but I think if Kareem had the name Jordan, he had the Jordan brand, then Kareem would be number 1. Because the dude at all-time scoring list, what he was in college, he won a championship with Milwaukee with Oscar Robertson. Then he came with Magic and won those other 5 with him. The dude had the most unstoppable shot ever. So I put him number 1. I have LeBron at number 2. Year 17, doing the 17 years, doing what he's done, doing what he's been doing. He's not really a scorer, but he's an elite scorer. That's not his strong point. Strong point is passing the ball. And the dude, me personally, I compare LeBron more to Magic, because he reminds me of Magic more than Jordan, just because you're talking about a big body going down the lane, either making 2 options. Either you find the wide open shot or you attacking the paint. Number 3, this race is going to get interesting. I have Kobe Bean Bryant ahead of Michael Jordan. I just do. They both to me they're both equal on the basketball court. I'm looking off the basketball court. You're talking about a Michael Jordan, the only person that he was willing to mentor was a Kobe Bryant. But you look at a Kobe Bryant, he's mentored a lot of these young cats in today's game. He's inspired this next generation. We seen that last night with the Anthony Davis hitting the shot, yelling Kobe. Then number 4, Jordan. Jordan was just a dog. He would do whatever it takes to win. He didn't care. If he had to kill you, he was going to do it. And he would tell you if he dropped 50 on you tonight, he'll tell you and he'll do it. The dude is special. They don't call him Air Jordan for nothing. And number 5, it's hard, man. This really could be an all-time Laker list. It's just crazy. Greatest point guard of all time and Magic Johnson. You talking
Lakers everywhere.
Yeah, you talking about a dude you can put at your center position and you can put at your point guard. This dude, him and Larry Bird changed the game. Brought both races together in that time. The dude is special. The dude, like I said, like LeBron, this dude walks in the room, everybody smiles. This dude is a big smile. The dude's the nicest dude you ever meet. But on the court, this dude. I think it was a game where Kareem got hurt. This dude had to take over. I forgot he scored so many points. I forgot the points he scored.
Game 6 against 76ers in NBA Finals, he put up a triple-double.
Yeah,
he put up like 40. Like he went off, man, in his rookie year too.
Yeah, man.
His rookie year.
Yeah, to win the championship. That dude is special. That's my top 5.
So the last final question: who would you put
Hold on, Nate. Who's your top 5 or your top 5?
I just said I agree with yours.
Oh,
it's
okay.
The same.
I'm glad we all have big man on our list because, I'll just say this real quick. A lot of people disrespect the big man position, like I said, because they think just because you're that big, you should be dominant. Like I said, we've seen a lot of people, that big in NBA. Steven Adams has the size to be great, but is he great? No. All these big men have the sizes to be great, but they're not. It takes skill to be dominant in this league. And Kareem, Shaq, I think, you get the Bill Russell. The list goes on to dominate big Tim Duncan even. The list goes on to dominate big men that deserves to get some credit positions.
Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, bro,
Dirk's not a top 5 player of all time.
No, I'm not saying not top 5,
but talented big man, yeah. Well, he's not top 5.
One of them. Even Dwight Howard at one point, top
5 player of all time.
No. I'm talking about an elite big man at one point.
Oh yeah, he was elite. But let's get to this last. Because I know my list off the bat. Go ahead, Nate.
Who would you put as your starting 5? And I'm gonna go hit Freddie this one first.
I'll put it. You got to put Magic at the point guard.
Okay.
No, I take that back. I take that. I'm putting Steph Curry in my point guard.
Oh hell no!
I'll explain why in a minute. I'm putting Kobe at the 2. I put MJ at the 3. I have LeBron at the 4. That's why I didn't put Magic in there, because you don't need 2 guys like a Magic Johnson in there once. So you have a LeBron James speaking to Steph Curry. Blah blah. That's number 3, and then number 5. I'm putting the most dominant big man in the game in the Diesel and Shaquille O'Neal. Wow. And you tell me how my team getting beat.
Who wants to go?
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. I'm gonna go last.
Yeah, Chris.
All right. At point guard, I'm having LeBron James. You talking about a guy that can score, defend, pass with the best of them. He, like I said, he's up there in every single major statistical category. People say, he's not a scorer, yet he's top 3 all time in points. So I understand how a guy is not a scorer, yet he's up there in points. That just, to me, blows my mind. Shooting guard, I have MJ. You're talking about that backcourt dominance, backcourt defensive dominance is going to be out this world. Small forward, like we said, this is a top 5, list of all time starting 5. So I'm going with a dominant, killing starting 5. I'm having Kevin Durant. Talking about a guy that's 7 foot that can score against anybody. You put Steph Curry in there, why not have KD? KD can score against anybody. KD can shoot, and he can score at any level of the court. He improved on defense, improved in passing. Kevin Durant is one of the freak of natures we ever seen in the NBA. If it wasn't for 2 injuries he had throughout his career, he'd be up there in top points. At power forward, put in Kevin Garnett. You got a guy in KG that's a dominant defender. Well, I don't know why you open your mouth like DJ all the time.
He was good, man.
Yes. This is why. Because on my team, we're gonna be fast. Kevin Garnett is a guy that can guard a lot of positions. He had it on offense, but he definitely had it on defense. Kevin Garnett is a way. You talking about a more versatile defender. Tim Duncan was a great paint defender, yes. But when you talk about versatility on defense, Kevin Garnett had it. He could guard 1 through 5. He can bring the ball up on the court. He could lead the fast break with the ball in his hand. He could score from the post. One of the guys that really make the face-up game for a big man. Great. Kevin Garnett is an all-timer. To me, one of the best power forwards of all time. So he's at power forward. In the center, I think I'm going to dominant one, Shaquille O'Neal. I got all those guys that do whatever they want on the perimeter. Then you're gonna come into the paint and the Shaq. What you gonna do? You're gonna try to double Shaq, and he's just gonna kick it out to all those guys, man. I don't think you can go anywhere with just all time starting 5, but I think my starting 5 we have it on offense and we definitely have it on defense.
Why do you have Kevin Durant over Kobe? Kobe was, I believe, he's better scorer than Kevin Durant. He's a better defensive player than Kevin Durant. He can pass the ball just as good as Kevin Durant. Why do you not have Kobe Bryant on that list?
Because I think Kevin Durant is going, if he, like I said, talking about somebody to guard. Kobe was great to guard, but Kevin Durant's going to help stretch the floor out. Kevin Durant can go 5 for 7, 7 for 10 from the 3-point line. He's going to be that main shooter for my starting 5. I said Kobe's a top 5 player of all time, but I'm talking about on my team. There's not going to be enough ball around for all those guys. So I need some unselfish guys and some shooters on my team.
Kobe gonna get that ball up.
You just said Kobe's not selfish. You said Kobe's not selfish, bro. Kobe, MJ, there's not going to be enough ball for them two, bro. There's not. So Kevin Durant is going to be able to get his points, but he's also, he doesn't need 30 shots to get 30 points. He doesn't, and he's one of the best shooters of all time. I need a guy out there that's going to be a marksman for the 3-point line consistently. That's why Kevin Durant's on my starting 5. It's not an all-time list. This is put together a starting 5 that can go out and be dominant, man. You can't argue with the dominance on my list.
Man, you should put AD over Kevin Garnett.
Why? I just said I needed shooting on my team. I needed scoring on my team.
AD over Kevin Garnett?
AD?
At the 4?
I'm picking Kevin Garnett. I love what AD is doing, but I know I've seen Kevin Garnett his entire career.
AD.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not wrong, but you're not wrong at all. I'm not going to argue with it, but I'm personally picking Kevin Garnett. I love Anthony Davis before he was doing all this well. I'm talking about Kentucky days, but I just wanted to have KG on my list. I was giving some respect to some OGs. Nobody respects Kevin Garnett, but he was doing all this stuff all these players are doing now. I'm giving respect to my OG, just as good as AD.
Big shot.
Well, I'm gonna start at center first. I'm gonna go with Shaq. The man was just too dominant, man. Nobody can really mess with him. That's the play. He's the LSU man. He comes here every now and then. He has the house here too in Lafayette. So I love me some Shaq. And my power forward, nobody really talks about him much, but Tim Duncan.
Love it.
He's one of the greatest power forwards I had a chance to see play, not only on TV but in person, and he can really play, ball. Let me see. I got my list right here. And my small forward would be LeBron James. Mm-hmm. That's like a 18-wheeler coming at you. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many people going to hold him. Let me get. I'm almost here. And my shooting guard would be Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And my point guard, I got to give it to Magic Johnson. He's
leading the show.
He's going to spread. So yeah, that's my 5 right there.
I don't think anybody can go wrong. All these dudes we're naming is great, man. Like Magic leading the show. Oh my god, all our starting 5s are great to me.
I just don't like Magic and LeBron and that together. You're talking about 2 big-time facilitators. That's all.
Bro, but LeBron is an all-time scorer too. He's going to break Kareem's record. You see when LeBron's on the court with Rondo, and then he can focus on scoring. LeBron is a great scorer too, but he had to be a facilitator because nobody else could score like he could on them teams. So he had to be. But now when he can focus on scoring, nobody can stop him.
Well, I mean, if he's going in there with the mindset of just scoring, then I agree.
If you have Magic, like when he's on the court with Rondo, he lets Rondo do all the playmaking. So you think if he's on the court with Magic Johnson, he's going to try to – no, he's going to play off the ball in pure dominance, man, pure.
He's going to hook you up, man.
Let me hear you list, Nate.
So at center – center, I'm probably going to go with
Joel Embiid.
No.
He may pick Pistol Pete.
Oh man, Pistol Pete was great. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at something.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Point guard, I got to go with LeBron.
Okay.
The rest
gonna be tough now.
Yeah, it's tough.
See, I put my team together on how they're gonna play on the court. I mean, like you talking about the team defense, offense. I had to put, the shooting. It's gonna be hard for me. I couldn't pick 2 big men that's gonna sit on the block. That's how I put my starting 5 together. I was wondering how would they play on the court. That's personally how I put my list. But I don't think anybody's list is wrong.
No,
everybody. You can't go wrong. We have all these legends trying to put together the top 5.
I mean, that would be a dream to see it though, but I know it's never gonna happen.
It ain't never gonna happen.
I gotta go with Tim Duncan in there.
That's best power forward of all time. Ain't nobody gonna argue with that.
You can't go with Tim Duncan.
2 and
Michael
3.
Jordan.
Okay, now who that last person? You can't go wrong to me.
No.
You can't go wrong.
Larry
Bird.
I can't remember what position he played.
Yeah, Larry Bird was good too.
Larry Bird can't.
Yeah, I would go with Larry Bird, but I'm
Larry Bird.
blanking on what position that guy played, but that's why I didn't put him in there.
He played power
Yeah, ain't
forward.
wrong with that. He plays small forward and
I
power
wasn't talking
forward.
about Larry Bird. I was
Oh,
talking
oh. Who?
about Kevin Durant. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
remember what position.
He both told me like I said, I don't think anybody can go wrong when you're picking a starting five with legends. Just my personal list, these are the guys who I think on the court would mesh together. I didn't want to put two, dominant post guys together because there's no way it's going to work. I didn't want to put all the passers together on the team because there's no way it's going to work. I'm trying to think, okay, I got a starting five. How can they compete? That's why I have Kevin Durant in there. He's going to be the shooter on the team because LeBron's a good shooter. MJ would have adapted to shooting. Kevin Garnett's a good shooter, but Kevin Durant's a great one. You need a shooter on your team for me.
Right.
But all them lists is great, man. I love them all. Love them all, guys.
Oh yeah, we can go all night with this one, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
So we're about to wrap it up. I'll give everybody 30 seconds to give their final thoughts. I'm going to go first and give you an update on tonight. You have the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. The Raiders are in the lead, 24-17. Fourth quarter, I think, just started. 14-14 left in the game.
Falcon fans loving that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Big Shaw, what are your 30 last few thoughts?
Oh man, today was a great show. I really couldn't say what I wanted to say, but it was a great show. But I will say my all-time starting five, people. I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. We had Billups, Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, and Rasheed Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
They was awesome. But it was a great show, man, and I hope we can continue doing more shows like this. More good debates, man, because a lot of people don't have debates like this anymore. They just say something to say, but I really love talking sports, man. Sports is a good, it's a good topic. But like I said, man, it was great, and I hope we continue doing it and get more fans involved and stuff. And if they got any questions for us, they can leave it, and we can chop it up from there.
Chris?
Great show, man. The topics, we talked about, I think we all found a way to agree other than, the quarterbacks. I feel like Freddie was having a hard time to realize that me not having Aaron Rodgers at number one was not disrespectful at all. Him being on the list is respectful. I mean, I could have put a bunch of guys who's having good games on this list. I sure loved Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knows, if you know me, how big of a fan I am of Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, he gets nothing but praise from me. But with that being said, man, great show. Like I said, love the topics. Also, if everybody out there, Freddie is a delusional guy for picking a Cowboy over Devontae Adams.
I agree.
Freddie?
All right, just like these two said, man, a wonderful show. I think we get better every week. These topics got heated today, man. Like heated. Like we could have went on for a whole another hour on a lot of these topics. Just
especially personal.
Yeah, Chris, Big Shaw, Nate, good job, you guys, and let's keep bringing the heat on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we could talk about cornerbacks too. I know people don't talk about those, man. Cornerbacks.
Deion is number one. It should not be no debate. Deion Sanders is that guy. Okay.
Sometimes number one.
Okay.
Somebody better be number two.
Who?
Somebody told me the other day, man, Champ Bailey would be number two. I said, I don't know. I went with Darryl Green at number two.
I'm not mad at Darryl Green was a beast. It's hard, man. Hey, let's say that for Tuesday. Let's throw that in there. Let's talk about that on Tuesday.
So, this has been another episode of All Sports, All Plays, Real Talk with Freddie Henderson, Nate the Great, Big Shaw, and Chris Brown. This is closing off. Signing out, whatever you want to put in there, and goodbye for now.
Peace, Eric.